That's going live.
Hello, good evening everybody, good evening children. Welcome to your own BYJU'S classes. I am your Pankhuri ma'am and today we are going to attend this super amazing session of Morphology in Angiosperms, Morphology of Angiosperms. ये आपके syllabus का chapter 5 है. This chapter is very important. I get so many mails, so many messages asking, ma'am, you know what, we are not able to understand this chapter. This chapter is very lengthy. इसमें इतने सारे scientific names हैं. How to remember everything? How to remember the modification of plant parts? Questions in NEET mostly come from modification of plant parts, right? So today we are going to solve hand-picked previous year AIMS as well as NEET previous year questions, and by solving these questions we will travel. We will go far and wide and cover all the corners of this chapter. We are going to make those 8 or 12 marks, yeah, for which this chapter is weighted in NEET. NEET में आपके या तो 2 क्वेश्चन आते हैं या 3 क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. वो 4 marks हमें आज पक्के करने हैं, right? So what I want from you, all of you, you should keep your notebooks and pen ready, settle down in the class, and we will start solving questions. And today I will tell you how to solve the questions. What is the right approach ताकि negative marking ना हो. The biggest killer in the NEET exam is the negative marking. Okay, so accuracy, speed, both of the components of getting a good rank, we will solve today. Alright, once again, very good evening. It's a beautiful evening to learn something new. Let's begin. So, this is your first question. Select the correct statement. Now, children, the pattern of NEET, yeah, it has a set pattern. Understand कि आपके NEET के paper में, know your exam, आपके NEET के paper में one of the patterns of questions for any subject is finding the correct, incorrect or true false statements. Yeah. So more often than not होता क्या है कि when the question is select the correct statement, yeah, we are good. But when the question is select the incorrect statement, we end up marking the correct answer because we have understood, we have learned the correct answer so much for 2 years. Yeah. So that is where we get trapped. We will practice that in today's session. Now, whenever you get a question, select the correct statement, true statement. Always underline what the examiner wants from you. When you underline here, it gets underlined in your head. Okay? So, these are your options. Spend time, spend some good time on your options, on the choices. Because as you can see, more than one is correct. So, after reading the choices, we will see which one is correct. From the region of elongation, okay, some of the epidermal cells from root hair. Just see how I am solving the question. I am marking the keyword which can give me the answer. Pneumatophores are seen in whom? Cerneraceae, the plant. Adventitious roots are seen in which tree? Banyan tree. Maize and sugarcane have prop roots. Okay, so let's go forward and solve this question. The first one is about the elongation zone. So through this question, we will go to that part of the chapter and you will note down what all important questions I'll give you from this very concept. So when we speak about the zones of the root, yeah, the root is a conical structure. Yeah, you can all look at your pens, right? My pen here is a mix of, it's not a perfect cone, but the concept that I want to put forth is, जब आप अपने pen को देखते हो, right? Imagine that this is the root, yeah, a perfect cone, and it really tapers as we go down, okay? So this zone, start from here. This zone is the root cap, the first zone in the root. Is that clear? Now I want all of you all of you to drop the pen. Just imagine or try dropping your pen. Where will the impact be? सबसे ज़्यादा impact इस root में, इस pen में कहाँ पर होगा? At the tip. Why? The area is less. The pressure, the impact will be more. Let's apply a little bit of physics here. Yeah? So, that is why the first zone in the structure of the root is root cap. For protection of this very, very sensitive zone. Yeah? This, because the examiner can ask you the purpose of each zone. Right? So, you can write protection. Now, the second zone, you always study from the tip to the base of the cone. So, the second is the smallest zone. It is 1 millimeter. But here maximum growth happens. Why? Because it is the region of meristematic activity. So, likh lijiye that this is the region of maximum growth. Another question number 2 from the single concept. Third question, people. Region of elongation. Relatively bigger, longer zone. Here cell division will not happen. The pre-existing cells, जो cells region of meristematic activity say already they are pushed here, these cells will now elongate. Okay? And hence, region of elongation is responsible for increase in length of the root. You with me? Keep writing. The pens will run. Alright? Then comes the maturation zone, the last zone. This is the zone of differentiation. The key word here is differentiation. Ma'am, what is differentiation? Well, when a cell stops dividing, okay, changes its structure for a specialized function. It wants to store food, it wants to store water, it wants to store chlorophyll, whatever it is. The cells now are aging. Aging is not the right word, they are differentiating. They are taking up their jobs. Yeah? Like you all were studying together till class 10th. Okay, you were with your friends. But then some of you chose biology. Yeah? Some of you chose mathematics. You chose your own streams. That is what the cells will do in region of maturation. Now, very important question from previous year. Some cells modify themselves into hair-like structures, very, very thin hair, called as the root hair. Root hair, the purpose of root hair is to increase the surface area of absorption. Increase the surface area of absorption. Second question, the cellularity of root hair. What is the cellularity of root hair? क्या ये unicellular है या multicellular structures हैं? तो ध्यान रखिएगा, root hair are essentially unicellular structures. ये आपको इसलिए भी I'm telling you to note it down because stem hair, that is how they differentiate from stem hair. Apart from the functions, stem hair or trichomes are multicellular structures. Good? So, region of maturation, the key word is differentiation. Another thing, another previous year question that I'll give you is region of elongation. May the outer cells, some of the cells are good at absorption of minerals. Absorption of minerals. So, that can happen in region of elongation. Maximum absorption, if I have to tell you, then root hair are good for it. So, we revise the structure of root. Second thing, root modifications. If we talk about the major modifications of root, bachcha log, then it is of two types. Yes, taproot and adventitious root. दोनों ही roots में the root definitely gets modified to store food. ठीक है, तो उनको बोलते हैं स्टोरेज रूट्स. टैप रूट में भी ऐसी होती हैं, राइट? और आपकी एडवेंटिशियस रूट में भी होती है. The modification that I want you to look at today is the respiration modification of taproot. Respiratory or breathing roots, please write it down. They are called pneumatophores. Very, very important question. Yeah? So pneumatophores क्या करते हैं? The trick to remember is pneumonia. is the disease of lungs. Pneumology is the study of lungs. Yes, so pneumatophores are the breathing roots. Second question that can come from this concept, yeah? Which plants? In fact, that is the choice. So they are found in mangrove species. Why are they found in mangrove species? See, all the keywords are right there on your screen. You just have to write them and register them here. Okay? At least till the exam day. कोई मुश्किल बात नहीं है. If you understand why a structure is present in a particular plant, always understand the why. Then you don't have to mug up. Then you don't have to find tricks to mug up. Okay, so they are found in mangrove plants because mangrove plants grow in swampy areas. जहाँ पे सॉयल में बहुत ज़्यादा salinity होती है, जहाँ पे सॉयल में ऑक्सीजन नहीं है, फ्री ऑक्सीजन नहीं है प्लांट के लिए ब्रीथ करने के लिए. So then these roots come outside the ground. Okay, and one more thing, who has noticed this? Write in the chat box, have you noticed something about the property of roots here? It's an exception. Listen to me carefully. It's an exception to the property, general property of roots, being positively geotrophic. So, another very important question. Negatively geotrophic roots का example है pneumatophores. They have to come and grow away from the gravity because soil में there is waste gases, there is toxic gases, and there is water logging, and there is no free oxygen. Clear? Now the examples of breathing roots are, one is Soneraceae, which is given in your question. Another example which you want to write with ma'am is Avicennia. Okay, in दोनों examples से questions आ चुके हैं, so you write the second one as well. Good. Now we move on to the adventitious root. Now, if you ask me, the questions from this chapter कौन से topic से आते हैं? Maximum questions, most of the times, what I've seen, the trend is modification of root, stem, leaves. Okay, one or the other question they could ask from the family also. They could choose to ask from angiosperm families also, which we will do today. Okay, so adventitious roots are again modified for storage. One example is sweet potato, they can be dahlia, they can be asparagus. A very important modification is to provide support to the plants, especially the plants जिनमें stem बहुत weak होती है. Okay, so two such modifications of support present in modifications of adventitious root are prop roots and the stilt roots. Yeah, so let's understand what prop roots and what stilt roots are. Good. Now, children, if you're wondering, ma'am is not talking to us, ma'am is not taking doubts. I will definitely take all your doubts. I will talk to you at length after finishing the questions. Let's focus on questions right now because we want to grab those 2 to 3 questions which are going to come in the exam. This class is for 11th graders, 12th graders if you have done this chapter and you want to revise the entire chapter, and people who are going to appear on 12th of September. Yes, the D-Day has been announced. Okay, so please pay attention. So like I was telling you, banyan tree has prop roots. These are also called pillar roots because they work like a pillar for the banyan tree. Alright, now these are aerial roots. First of all, these are aerial roots. So they come, as you can see very clearly, these roots are hanging from the T trunk, the branches of the trunk, and they are positively geotrophic. Don't think every aerial root, every root which is outside the ground is negatively geotrophic. They are ultimately going to penetrate into the ground, okay, and provide that extra force, provide that extra strength for the banyan tree. Hence, they are called the pillar roots. And because of this, banyan tree grows for it can grow up to 400 years, yeah, 200 years, and they can have thousands of prop roots hanging down, yeah, and the purpose is mechanical support. Clear? Now the next one, which is my favorite question, stilt roots. It's my favorite because it's examiner's favorite. So stilt roots की कहानी ये है कि stilt roots उन्हीं plants में होते हैं, मोस्टली वैसे मोनोकॉट्स में जिनकी स्टेम बिल्कुल स्ट्रांग नहीं होती है. तो अगर आंधी तूफान आया तो स्टेम तो वीक पड़ जाएगी. तो इसलिए देखो ये सारी जो अडेप्टेशंस हैं रूट में या वेजिटेटिव पार्ट्स में, जो भी अडेप्टेशंस हैं, ये इसलिए होती हैं ताकि प्लांट सर्वाइव कर सके. एवरी लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म, everything which is living on this planet, the first instinct is to survive. We all want to survive better. It's not only us humans. Even a bacterial cell wants to survive better. Even a virus wants to survive better. That is why they develop resistance to medicines which we humans make. You see? So similarly, these modifications happen to survive better in the environment. Okay? And in modifications में अगर हम plant parts की बात करें तो vegetative parts part लेते हैं. What are the vegetative parts? The root, which are not reproductive parts, stem and leaves. Good. So now what are stilt roots? They are called the brace roots because they brace the aerial stem. Yeah, they sort of spread in all the directions and they brace the root here. तो क्या हो रहा है इससे? थोड़ी सी physics लगा लेते हैं, कोई बात नहीं. We like physics, sort of. Yeah. So they are spreading the pressure or whatever pressure is exerted on the stem in all the directions. Yeah. Now they are a characteristic feature of maize, sugarcane and pandanus and sorghum. ये सारे examples आपको याद रखने हैं. All these are previous year questions. ठीक है? तो उसके बाद अगर पेपर में ऐसा कोई क्वेश्चन आता है तो आप नहीं कहेंगे कि मुझे तो पता ही नहीं था. आज आपको पता है. एंड पैंडिनस में मल्टीपल रूट कैप्स होती हैं. पैंडिनस में मल्टीपल रूट कैप्स भी होती है. दिस इज नॉट अ कॉमनली आस्क्ड क्वेश्चन बट आई एम स्टिल टेलिंग यू. सो नाउ इफ यू रीड दिस स्टेटमेंट, रिविजन हो गई आप लोगों की. Yeah, we have discussed around 3 topics. Read the question. From the region of elongation, some of the epidermal cells form root hair. This is absolutely wrong. Root hair maturation zone से होते हैं. This is wrong. Pneumatophores are seen in sonoracea. This is true. Adventitious roots are seen in banyan tree. Is that true? Is that true? This is true. Maize and sugarcane have prop roots. ये तो बहुत गलत बात है. Maize and sugarcane have the brace root or the stilt root, जो stem को, aerial stem को brace करके रखती है. Yeah, so that it doesn't go anywhere. Next question, people. Which of the following is not? So what will you do from today onwards? Whenever the question has not, correct, incorrect, be safe. Don't go for negative marking. Underline it. Yeah, let not the examiner trap you. So which of the following is a leaf modification is the natural tendency? हम सबका दिमाग ऐसे ही काम करता है. Usually we are like, which of the following is a leaf modification? Yeah, okay, fine. Picture of Nepenthes. And that is when जब आप घर आते हो और बोलते हो मैम बहुत ही अच्छा पेपर हुआ, I'm definitely going to score this much, and when you get the result, that's not true. Okay, so let's apply the strategy. Read the choices. Picture of Nepenthes. Spines in cactus. Phylloclade, my favorite. Phylode. कुछ लोग तो कह रहे हैं मैम ये सब क्या है, कुछ समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा है. आप ही लोगों के लिए है ये क्लास, बिकॉज यू पीपल आर वर्किंग हार्ड, आई बिलीव दैट, लेकिन हम रिविजन करना भूल जाते हैं. सो लेट्स डू इट. I will definitely talk to you in a while. So याद करते हैं, अब खुद को याद कराते हैं कि what is the structure of leaf. लीफ में 3 पार्ट्स होते हैं. द मोस्ट एक्सटेंडेड एंड ब्रॉड पोर्शन, इसको क्या बोलते हैं? लैमिना बोलते हैं. जिनको याद है, वेरी गुड. जिनको नहीं है, इट इज टाइम दैट यू राइट इट. या लैमिना, द स्टॉक, it is also called the epipodium. Then the stalk is called the petiole and the leaf base. Leaf base में तो खजाना है. किस चीज का? Leaf base में हमारी axillary bud होती है. Yeah, and it is protected by stipules in dicots. In dicots. Let's understand precisely where everything is present. Okay, so why is axillary bud a khazana? Who will tell me? Because axillary bud can give rise to the new structures. It is that collection of cells which can form a new leaf, branch of the stem, modifications of leaves, anything. Now, the primary function of the leaf is to perform photosynthesis. All of us know that. But it has to adapt itself according to the environment. Yes? So, one such modification is when leaves get modified into pitchers. Do you see that? Pitcher-like structure. ध्यान से देखिएगा. Because what you see right now, it's going to come right there in front of you in the exam center when you see the question. ठीक है? So now this pitcher, ये ऐसा क्यों करता है? Because it wants to trap insects. Nepenthes or pitcher plant is an insectivorous plant. So it forms this pitcher. इस pitcher में, do you see the mouth of the pitcher? Do you see this mouth of the pitcher? Here I have the plant has the nectariferous glands. डरना नहीं. मैम इतना बड़ा वर्ड बोल दिया आपने. नेक्टर वाले ग्लैंड्स होते हैं. Nectariferous glands. Nectar तो मालूम है, the sugary substance that the plant produces. Why does it produce that? To trap the insects, to attract the insects. Yeah? तो insects को लगता है fine, we'll go there and have nectar, we'll enjoy. But then there is a lid also. It will trap the insects and there are digestive juices in this pitcher. And then it's gone. But why is this plant? Plants are supposed to be nice. They are autotrophic. वो तो हमें खाना देते हैं, अपना खाना खुद बनाते हैं. ये plants को ऐसा करना पड़ा. Adaptation is I have to do it. Maybe I wasn't designed to do that originally, but I did that to survive. Yeah, because these plants grow in areas which are previous year question. I'm not giving you any extra information. Write it down. Low nitrogen content. इनकी soil में nitrogen नहीं होती है, so to compensate they do that. Who will tell me? Let's get the chat box on. Who will tell me other examples of insectivorous plants? Any other example of insectivorous plants than pitcher plant? Fatafat. Venus flytrap. Awesome, Varsha. Thank you so much. Bladderwort. I'm so happy. You made my evening. Thank you very much. So all these, now you know why they are eating the insects. Second modification, leaves get modified into spines. We will not mug it up. Ratte nahi marne. Okay? So leaves get modified into spines for why? We will get to the why. What is the keyword? The keyword is given to you. Transpiration. I want to reduce transpiration because I'm the plant. I am growing in a very water deficient area. I'm growing in a desert. What do? I cannot afford to lose water. और water loss maximum कहाँ से होता है? मैंने बोला maximum कहाँ से होता है? From the leaf surface, from the stomata present on the leaf surface. तो leaves ने कहा okay fine, we will reduce ourselves into spines. अब तो प्रॉब्लम हो गई. अगर लीव्स स्पाइन बन गए हैं बच्चों, तो फिर फोटोसिंथेसिस कौन करेगा, फूड कौन बनाएगा? So then stem comes in, volunteers. It's okay, I will do it. And that is why in cactus you see those thick fleshy stems. If you cut them off, there will be mucilage and water coming out of it, the sap coming out of it. You see how beautiful, how intelligent plants are. In fact, every organism is. So one question that students often ask me, yeah, ma'am, then what are thorns? Well, the function is similar, but thorns are modifications of stem. इसको लिख लीजिए. So they are what kind of organs are they? People who are studying evolution, answer it right now. Let me see who answers this. What kind of organs are thorns and spines? If they both are pointed structures, they both are reducing water loss or perhaps protecting from grazing animals. Baba, I'm asking, are they, okay, let me put it this way. Are they homologous or analogous organs? People in class 12th. Think about it. Are you sure they are homologous? Their origin is different. Bacha, their origin is different. Thank you, Parth. One origin is stem, one is leaf. Function is similar. Okay, think about it. The next one is phyllodes. Phyllodes is a modification of petiole of the leaf. Purpose is same. The answer to the Y is same. हमें transpiration, water loss कम करना है. Again, xerophytic plants में आपको मिलेगा Australian acacia. Yeah, Australian acacia is the example, and another example is Parkinsonia. Petioles will become photosynthetic and leaf-like, and the lamina, the main part, will get reduced to ease out transpiration. With me on this? Everybody is noting down? Very fast. Yeah, you have to note down. These are all the questions. These are 10 questions, but with every question you are getting 10 more. Do you realize that? Now, phylloclade. Why is it my favorite? Who will tell me? Why is phylloclade my favorite? It is examiner's favorite. Okay. Now, first question commonly asked, where is it found? Opuntia. Cactus. We have seen that. Right? The purpose is photosynthesis. Don't get confused between phylloclade and phyllodes. Phyllodes is a leaf modification, precisely petiolar modification. This is a stem modification. Yeah, it is to make food. Who is functioning like the leaf in cactus? It is the stem, the phylloclade. Read the question. Which of the following is not a leaf modification? We are not going to mark answer A, please. Many students lose out on their well-deserving ranks because of this habit. So this is a leaf modification. Spines in cactus, what are they? Ma'am, they are a stem modification. Nope. Thorns are stem modification. So this is also there. Phylloclade is a stem modification. Question number 3. Radial symmetry is found in the flower of Cassia, Brassica, Trifolium, Pisum. Ma'am, कुछ भी नहीं पता है. बिल्कुल याद नहीं आ रहा है. Well, that's why I'm here. We'll revise it. First of all, what is the symmetry? So symmetry is, you check the symmetry, how the floral parts are arranged around the floral axis. In that case, you have 3 types of symmetry. One is kahin se bhi kaat do. Actinomorphic, you can write it, kahin se bhi aap kaat do. Transverse plane, longitudinal plane, lateral plane. It is called radially symmetrical. Yeah, and hence the sign in the floral formula. So this is also a previous year question. How is actinomorphic flower or radially symmetrical flower represented? You see, zygomorphic is bilateral symmetry, only a single plane with which you can cut the organism, the plant, and it is represented as this. Got it? So actinomorphic, zygomorphic, and the third is no symmetry. Now, the examples of actinomorphic which you have to remember, are mustard, datura and chili. Please look at the diagrams. You will never forget why they are actinomorphic. You can easily cut them into equal parts through any plane. Then the zygomorphic flowers, you can learn, you definitely have to learn the pea flower. Yeah, it's a commonly asked question. Cassia, definitely you have to learn. All the examples given in your textbook, in your NCERT textbook, cannot be missed. Okay, so these are the examples of zygomorphic flowers. Now, radial symmetry किसमें है? क्या केसिया में है? क्या ट्राइफोलियम में है? क्या पाइसम सेटाइवम में है? नहीं है. ब्रासिका स्पीशीज ब्रासिकेसी फैमिली में है. Fourth question. Children, I tell you one thing. How good, how present you are while reading the question and not the choices. How in the moment you are will define the accuracy and definitely help with your speed. If you want to improve your speed, you have to practice the questions. That's why we come every week and solve these questions with you. Accuracy का तरीका है that you read the question carefully. You know what the examiner wants to ask. The examiner should speak to you. You should feel like the examiner is speaking to you when you read the question. Yeah? So practice that. This really reminds me, I want to share with you something very useful. Somebody wise told me very recently. They told me that, whatever is going to happen in the future, whatever, depends on how much you are in the moment. That moment is your biggest gift. You can mold the very next moment, जिसको हम बोलते हैं मेरे फ्यूचर का क्या होगा. अरे वो वही होगा. How you sculpt, आप उस मोमेंट को कैसे शेप करते हो. And that is why you write your own destiny. Okay, so vexillary estivation. It should be like, it should hit your mind. Okay, vexillary estivation, now I have to focus there. Vexillary estivation is a characteristic feature of a family. I go to angiospermic families. There you go. Examiner is speaking to me, which also exhibits. This is a very good question. I saw this question and I fell in love with it. Ma'am, ये question तो मुश्किल है, मुझे आता नहीं है. Why did you fall in love with this? Because, children, the paper is divided into 3 segments. One is the easy segment. Listen to this carefully. These are a few things that sometimes we fail to realize. This easy part of the paper, which is approximately 40%, everybody can solve. Okay? 20% is the difficult paper, definitely. And another 40% is moderate. अगर तो आप ढंग से पढ़ाई कर रहे हो, सारे सिलेबस को आप 2 बार रिवाइज करके भी गए हो, this is taken care of. But this 20% comes to those who have practiced a lot. Yeah? Who have practiced playing the part. You have to play the part. You know how soldiers train to fight the war? They're not fighting the war every day. They are training consistently every day to fight the war one day. And that's what it is. You train consistently. If we tell them, you know what, go to the war zone and just shoot like this. I tell them in theory. I teach them. Just shoot like this, do like this, fight the enemy. In emergency situation, you do this. You think they'll be able to fight the war? Never. They have to practice. This question is a rank booster question. If you're able to solve, if you're able to get this correct, I call them fast forward questions. You are pushed by at least 500 ranks. Or maybe more, maybe more. It could compensate for that physics numerical where we got stuck. Yeah, that happens to us, right? So that is why biology is the best friend if you have practiced. Physics is a friend. Let's call it a friend. Acquaintance maybe. Yeah. So vexillary estivation भी मालूम होनी चाहिए. It is a feature of कौन सी family भी होनी चाहिए. और उस family में कौन सी placentation है वो भी पता होना चाहिए. ये भी पता होना चाहिए उसमें stamen की condition क्या है. उसमें fruit कैसा है. Let's solve this, don't get scared. But remember, these questions are a part of this 20% which could fast forward your rank to that dream college. So first of all, let me remind you, कितने लोगों को estivation याद था? Let's see कितने लोगों को estivation क्या होता है ये याद है. They know what is estivation. It is the arrangement of sepals or petals. Anything, sepals or petals with respect to each other. Now, this estivation is primarily of 4 types. Yeah, one is they're merely touching each other at the tips, very lightly. Yeah, that is your valvate estivation. Look at these diagrams. Look at these pictures. Then the twisted estivation. Your hands are the sepals or petals. In twisted estivation, whether you see clockwise or anti-clockwise, move anywhere, have a careful look, the pattern is same. What is the pattern? One is overlapping, one is overlapped, and it follows. With me everybody, overlapping, overlapped, overlapping, overlapped, overlapping, overlapped. Good. If I make this pattern irregular, you can call it the irregular twisting. Then it is called imbricate. Yeah, imbricate estivation, मैंने इसको irregular क्यों बोला? The reason is, have a look. One is completely internal, whether it's a sepal or petal. It's completely internal. The other one is completely external. Both the ends are overlapping. And the rest 3 are arranged in the twisted manner. The fourth is vexillary estivation. It's my favorite question. Not because it is examiner's favorite question, it's just my favorite question. Yeah, and I will tell you what you have to learn about vexillary estivation. Let's see in the chat box, how many of you remember what is vexillary estivation? First of all, P family और Fabaceae family और Papilionaceae family का characteristic feature है. Posterior petal, one posterior petal becomes huge like this. Okay, let me take only one arm. It becomes huge. Why did I take one arm? This is a very important question. It looks like there are 2 petals, but you don't see any joining here. It is very, very important to note previous year AIMS question that it is one petal called standard. Question. Keep writing. Keep writing as you breathe. Yeah, we are taking out 10 questions out of a single question. So this is the standard, which is one petal. Then the wings. Laterally there are 2 wings. And these wings are covering the keel. The anterior petal keel. Now, these are 2 in number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You with me on this? So this circle that you see marks that there are 2 petals joined together. This is called, and remember the names, standard, wings and the keel. Very important. And this is a feature of P family. Yeah. Now coming to the nature of stamens. Stamens show 2 phenomena. अगर स्टेमन से जुड़ा है तो उसको बोलते हैं कोहीजन. Co is similar structure. Adhesion is when stamen is attached to a dissimilar structure. किसी और structure से attached है, यानी कि petal से attached है, pistil से attached है, tepal से attached है, तो उसको बोलेंगे adhesion. अब बात करते हैं कोहीजन की, ध्यान रखिएगा। कोहीजन में the condition when stamens are sticking to each other, it is called adelphi. How many of you knew this? If you don't, let's see the chat box. If you don't, please write it down. Let's keep seeing the chat box. Very good. So fused filaments, agar stamen is attached only at the level of filaments, but anther are free. I'm adding it here, but anther are free. This is very important to understand. Then you call it adelphi. If they form two groups, then it is called diadelphi. So 9+1 condition is a feature of Fabaceae family. Another very, very important commonly asked question. 9+1 condition. Do you see what I did here? The 9 are joined together, are fused together at the level of filaments. At the level of filaments, anther is free. Good. Now, coming to the topic of placentation. What is placentation? We are now in the zone of reproductive part flower. Register that. Till now we focused a lot on the vegetative parts. Now we are talking about the stamen and now the placentation. You know what is placenta? The tissue lining the ovary. How ovules are arranged? What is the manner of arrangement of ovules? Along the placenta in the ovary is the placentation. Yeah? So this is the ovary, characteristic of pea plant. The ovules, here is the placental tissue, the cushiony tissue. You see that? And ovules are present at one margin of this unilocular ovary. And what is unilocular? There is a single chamber. Yeah? एक ही chamber में present है ovules. Axial placentation. रटना नहीं है. In the name itself, axial placentation, it is quite clear. The ovules are present at the central axis. Is that all? No. No. I tell you today, out of all the placentations in your syllabus, only axial placentation is for multilocular ovary. You with me on this? Only axial placentation. This can be asked as a question. Now, these chambers, यहाँ पे हमने 3 दिखाए हैं. They can be more than 3. They can be 5 also. They will meet together in the central portion. They will form an axis when these are the folded locules. Now they are meeting at the center. और उसी center पे बहुत strictly. This is not free central. Free central नहीं है. यहाँ पे strictly they are hanging on to the central axis. After the class, go cut a lemon. Go cut a tomato. You will see them easily. Yeah? So you will see that the seeds are arranged at the central axis. Seeds are arranged. You will see your mother, when she's squeezing the lemon, she will try to get the seeds out by pressing onto the center of the lemon. That is where seeds are. Good? Now, like I was saying, the adhesion of stamens, yani ki they are sticking to a dissimilar structure. तो उसमें one condition is epipetalous. Epi का मतलब क्या होता है? Upon. Yeah. So they look like they are upon the petals. Yeah. But actually they are sticking to the petals. This is called epipetalous condition. Good. Stamens are attached to the petals. This is a feature of Solanaceae. Solanaceae family is very important for your exam. It is very much in your syllabus. We will see how epipetalous condition is represented. Coming to the types of fruit, quick revision of types of fruit. अगर single ovary से fruit derived है, it is a simple fruit. Yeah, simple fruit can be fleshy. What is a fleshy fruit? When the pericarp or the fruit wall is edible. Yeah, so tomato is a very fine example. In fact, tomato mein you're eating everything. Epicarp, mesocarp, endocarp. Yeah, even the seeds, that is the ovule, you're eating that also. So fleshy means pericarp is edible, dry means pericarp is dry. And it dehisces, it breaks to release the seeds. Good. Now, coming to aggregate fruit. फटाफट बताओ aggregate fruit क्या होता है? First of all, multiple ovaries. Let's see the chat section. Who knows aggregate fruit? Multiple ovaries and polycarpous condition. Polycarpous condition. That is, they are free. Syncarpous is the ovaries are fused. ठीक है? तो for example, custard apple is a aggregate fruit. You see, blackberry is an aggregate fruit. Then comes the composite or the multiple fruit. इसका keyword है entire inflorescence. Inflorescence develops into a fruit. Let's see who will give me the example of multiple or composite fruit. Let's get the chat. Let's keep the chat on. Who knows the example of composite or multiple fruit? Inflorescence. Think about the very good. Fig, ficus, or banyan. All these are example of multiple fruits. Let's come back to our question. We have discussed some 4 concepts right now. Vexillary estivation is a feature of a family which also exhibits epipetalous condition. No. We saw that in Solanaceae. Exile placentation. No. In P we saw marginal placentation. What is diadelphous condition? 9+1 arrangement. देखी थी हम लोगों ने 9+1 arrangement. So that is your answer. Berry fruit is also wrong. It's a dry fruit. Okay? It's a legume. Next question. Question number 5, people. Choose the correct description. You have to underline what the examiner wants. We do that from today. That way you will save yourself from negative marking. Choose the correct description of what? Androecium as described in the given formula. Well, floral formula, very important part of the syllabus. Floral formula is not a different topic from studying about the flower or the vegetative parts. If you have done your vegetative parts and floral and reproductive parts, सब कुछ पढ़ लिया है अच्छे से detail में, then it is just the symbolization of all those features. Floral formula is just the symbols. Yeah? Now, we will go through each symbol. लेकिन वो पूछना चाहता है, ध्यान दीजिए क्वेश्चन में क्या पूछा है, अबाउट एंड्रोशियम. तो अब सबको पता है कि फ्लोरल फॉर्मूला में A is for एंड्रोशियम. नाउ ही इज सेइंग चूज द करेक्ट डिस्क्रिप्शन. ठीक है? सो स्टेमेन्स आर 5. लेट मी राइट द 5 हियर. इट्स नॉट हियर. लेट्स कट दिस. Stamens are 5. Free from one another. Is that correct? Stamens are 5. Free from one another. Epipetalous. Stamens are 5. United epipetalous. D is stamens are 5. Free from one another. Epiphyllous. Now children, look at what is happening to the androecium, to the stamen. They are 5 in number. Whenever I put a bracket, this means fusion. This means fusion. Let's keep the chat box on. Now, there is no bracket here. That means there is no fusion. You see a bracket here? This shows meeting of the parts. Very important question. It is meeting with another part. There is adhesion happening. C is for corolla. The petals. Such a condition is called epipetalous. Ma'am, what is epiphyllous? Well, you have studied about the tepals. Ma'am, what are tepals? What are tepals? बोलिए, what are tepals? फटाफट बताइए, what are tepals? Anybody? I know the answer is B. We got the answer. When sepal and petal are fused together, they are called tepals. And if androecium is fused to tepals, it is called epiphyllous condition. Petal plus sepal is Tepal. Ubera, what is calyx plus corolla? That is the whorl of tepals. Shivam has answered correctly, it is perianth. Now let's look at this formula. Yeah, we deciphered this. 5 stamens, they are free because there is no bracket. Stamens are attached to the corolla, hence epipetalous condition. Concerning the rest of the formula, the floral formula, इसको क्या बोलते हैं? क्लास के शुरू में हमने डिस्कस किया था. It can be cut from everywhere. So this is your actinomorphic or radial symmetry. With me on this. This is a bisexual flower. You see, this is the sign of bisexuality. Then K is for sepals. Yes, it is for calyx. So there are 5 in number, they are free. Corolla, 5 petals, they are free. This is a pentamerous flower. But the fusion of the petal is happening with androecium. What is this quickly? Let me see who answers this. What is the condition of this ovary? This is superior ovary. यहाँ पे ध्यान रखिएगा, अगर superior ovary है, then the line is below the sign. And if it is an inferior ovary, you write it like this. But it is fused, it is syncarpous and bicarpillary in condition. So you already gave me the answer. Very good. The answer is B. Let's go to the next question. The difference between an embryo and a seed. बहुत easy question है. ये तो वो 40% जो easy paper है, उसका part है. The difference between an embryo and a seed. What is the answer? Let's see the chat box. What is the difference between an embryo and a seed? The seed is containing the embryo or the future plant. So seed is a future plant and embryo, it's not A. The answer is not A. People who are answering A. This is a very easy question. Let's see what happens. Remember forever that seed is pregnant ovule and fruit is pregnant ovary. That means fertilization has happened. ठीक है, तो fertilization के बाद क्या बनता है? Diploid zygote बनता है. Zygote develops into embryo. So embryo is present inside the seed. It develops further and ovary will develop into the fruit. Ovary has both the generations. Yeah? Now, embryo will give rise to a new plant when the seed will germinate. The embryo has the ready plumule, radicle, 2 cotyledons or 1 cotyledon, whether it's a dicot or a monocot, but only when the seed will germinate, because it contains the embryo, the plant will form. So our answer was not A, it is B. Seed is an ovule after fertilization. Fertilized ovule, and the embryo is the future plant. Next question. Have a careful read. The better you read your question, your accuracy improves. Which among the following is not represented? I underline what the examiner wants from me. Not represented in a floral formula. So we just saw a floral formula. It told you a lot about the flower, all the vegetative features and the reproductive feature. Did it tell you about the position of ovary? Did it tell you about the symmetry of the flower? Did it tell you about the number of sepals? Did it tell you about placentation? Give me the answer fast. Let me see what is the answer for this. Very good. Excellent. Easy question. The answer is D. We don't get to see about the placentation. So floral formula, like I said earlier, it is just the symbolization to describe a flower. What all it describes, if you want to write, you can write. It is the symmetry of the flower which we get to see. We just saw actinomorphic, zygomorphic. sexuality of the flower, whether it is a unisexual flower or a bisexual flower, number of sepals and petals at the base, number of stamens, and also what is the condition of the stamen, whether they are free or fused. You get to see with this symbol. Then number of carpels, yeah, the gynoecium part, and the position of the ovary, whether it is superior or inferior. Talking once again about placentation, it is an arrangement of ovules in the ovary along the placental tissue. There are various kinds of placentation that you see in angiosperms. हमने marginal placentation already देख ली है, axial placentation आप लोग already देख चुके हो. Better देखने के लिए after the class you just have to cut a tomato or a lemon. Other placentations, ये कौन सी है? Parietal placentation. This is free central. Let's keep the chart on. This is free central. So free central का मतलब है they are approximately in the center, but they are not hanging on to an axis, central axis. Because this ovary is unilocular. बच्चों ध्यान रखना, in all the example, in basal also हमारे पास unilocular ovary है. There is one chamber. Only in axial placentation there is multilocular ovary. You don't have to think a lot when it comes as a question. Good. Have you noted this down? Now, which among the following is not represented? Placentation, easy question. Next, a question on floral formula. Pay attention. यहाँ पे गलती होने के chances काफी रहते हैं if you're not careful. Let's see what the examiner wants from us. Which among the following families? Now we are going to talk about families. Shows the following floral formula. Another most common doubt I get from you children. Ma'am, families के floral formula कैसे याद रखें? Well, if you're trying to learn the formulas for families, it's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. You just have to keep in mind the characteristics of every family. And I'll tell you the most important characteristic of every family which will be there in the floral formula. Cool? Let's discuss the families. How many of us want to discuss the families? Let's see what all of you want. If your bio is weak, you are weak, then you are at the right place. Let's do the families. Very good. So, first we will do the Brassicaceae family. Okay. Now this Brassicaceae family ka floral formula is right in front of you. With the help of the floral formula, you can learn all the features of this family. Or you can do the opposite. So, it is ebracteate. The bracts are not present. What are bracts? The leaves in the axil of which inflorescence the flowers arise. Yeah, so they usually fall down as fertilization happens, as the flowers develop. So this is ebracteate. This is not always in the floral formula. Don't worry. Yeah, in Brassicaceae you get to see that, but it is not an essential part of floral formula. Next is the symmetry, actinomorphic. Then you have bisexual flower. Your sepals are in the condition of 2 plus 2. What is 2 plus 2? Total 4 है, लेकिन 2 whorls में arranged है. 2 circular arrangement है. Sepals are not fused together. Yeah, sepals are not fused together. They are present in 2 separate groups. Then there is your corolla, 4 in number, but this is free petals, polypetalous condition. Then you move to the ovary. What kind of ovary is this? It is a superior ovary. Now let me tell you, all the families which are in your syllabus, Solanaceae, Fabaceae, Liliaceae, Brassicaceae, have superior ovaries. So whenever you get the formula, okay, and you see that examiner has done this, then it is the wrong choice. Don't mark it. Is that clear? Now, ऑल्सो रिमेंबर, अगर ब्रासिकेसी का फ्लोरल फॉर्मूला है और सही ऑप्शन मार्क करनी है, आई एम गिविंग यू द ट्रिक टू गेट योर आंसर्स करेक्ट इन फ्लोरल फॉर्मूलाज. Look for that one character which is a feature of that family, very special feature. Then note it down right now. Brassicaceae में tetra-dynamous condition is present. Are we writing tetra-dynamous condition? Who knows what is tetra-dynamous condition? Let's see. Kushal, I'll talk about the neat pattern. Can we focus right now on the questions? Because this is going to be the part of your paper. Tetradynamous condition means that filaments are unequal in length. And third, stamens are unequal in length. Stamens are unequal in length. Very good. So 4 are longer, 2 are बिचारे shorter. ब्रासिकेसी फैमिली का फ्लोरल फॉर्मूला जब भी सही ऑप्शन आपको टिक करनी है, look for this 2+4 condition. Note it down. Good. I just told you what is tetradynamous condition. Note it down. Unequal stamens. Good. Let's move further. Let's go to Fabaceae family. ज़्यादा chances क्वेश्चन के आने के फेबेसी फैमिलीज हैं if I have to compare with Brassicaceae. That's the pattern that I've observed in the recent years. Fabaceae, Solanaceae are asked more. Yeah. So Fabaceae में, as you can see, everything is looking good. We don't worry too much. What will you look for? I don't want you to be troubled with the entire formula, get scared, go for negative marking, cry about it. Let's solve this problem today, once for all. Now, there are many special features, all are special features of the family, the symmetry, the sexuality, the sepals. What you will look for is the vexillary estivation. That's why it's my favorite. Because it serves two jobs. It serves so many questions. My floral formula is sorted right there. Do you see? The two anterior keel, the wings, the posterior large petal, the standard. Look for this. Another condition you are going to look for in Fabaceae. Who has noticed that? Dia-delphis condition, 9+1 condition. जब मैंने अपना एग्जाम दिया था तब भी ये सुपर इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन था 9+1 condition is a feature of which family? I remember my teacher telling me, which was long ago, not very long ago, but long ago. I mean, after that the pattern of the paper has changed. तब NEET नहीं होता था, AIPMT होता था. You see, so important. जितने लोग ये पूछते हैं, मैम what is the pattern, क्या पढ़ें, what is new in NEET? The importance of the subject remains the same. You see that? Now the paper is won. You get a single chance. So look for these two conditions. और तो मुझे कुछ देखना ही नहीं है क्योंकि हर वो फैमिली जो मेरे सिलेबस में है उसमें मेरे पास सुपीरियर ओवरी ही है. Yeah? You can always remember that it is a monocarpillary condition or it was the bicarpillary condition earlier. Good. Let's move to Solanaceae. Although all the families are important, I have observed in previous 5 to 6 years, Solanaceae हो ना हो question आ ही जाता है. Yeah, it can come from examples also. So potato family को थोड़ा ध्यान से याद रखिएगा. Now, what will I look for? So that I don't waste time, I'm accurate and I'm very, very fast. Because time matters, I need time to solve physics. It's hanging on my head. Yeah, so you will look for this condition. What condition? What is it? Who will tell me? Let's see. What is this condition that is shown in the floral formula? It is the epipetalous condition, which is again the striking feature about the Solanaceae. So you will look for this condition. You will look for you can look for gamopetalous condition, and the ovary still remains superior. Bicarpellary, syncarpous, superior ovary. Is that clear? Everybody? So look for Solanaceae, you can note down, you will look for definitely your epipetalous condition. Coming to Liliaceae, my favorite question from Liliaceae, epitepalous condition. This is my personal favorite. If I'm making a paper, if I have to set a paper, then I definitely put this question. Yeah? So perianth, that is the presence of tepals. तो ध्यान रखिए जो मैंने आपसे सवाल पूछा था, tepals के whorl को, whorl is the group of these floral paths. What is a whorl? Whirlpool. It's arranged, the floral paths are arranged in a circular pattern. With me on this? Now, tepals arranged in a circular pattern are called perianths. With me on this? Perianth. Now, this is a very nice feature of onion family, Liliaceae family, the monocot family, which you have to do. Okay, so you see stamens are attached to, यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा problem हो गया है, कोई बात नहीं, ये देखो. Good. So now androecium is attached to tepal. Let's see the chat box. It is the epiphyllous or epitepalous condition. And the ovary still remains superior, tricarpellary and syncarpous. Works? So now when you have to solve questions of floral formula, I hope you'll not be scared, because you just have to look. The right answer would have these features. You can see the trimerous flower in this clearly. Now coming back to the problem which we had, which among the following families show the following floral formula? I immediately know, oh, tetradynamous condition. Ma'am had told us. Let's mark Brassicaceae. It's not Solanaceae. I don't see the epipetalous condition. It's not Liliaceae. I don't see the epitepalous condition. You save a lot of time. Question number 9. People who are asking the NEET pattern. Bete NEET mein the pattern, one type of question that you get is true and false, correct, incorrect. Another very important pattern that you will see in all the subjects, all the 4 subjects, zoo, botany, physics and chemistry, are match the column. Now, these are very scoring questions. Why they are scoring? Who will tell me why match the column is much more scoring than the other pattern of questions? Because you can use the elimination method. I'll use it right now standing here in the class, and you will see how it helps you towards accuracy and speed. So what do you have here? In column 1, we have the stem modifications, all the possible ways in which stem modifies. This is a very important topic which you should know, the stem modifications. And in the other column, I have the examples. Don't get scared of the examples. The examples given in your NCERT textbook are super important. We'll do that. Now, underground stem, stem tendril, stem thorn. Stem thorn तो थोड़ा सुना है मैम आपसे शुरू में, क्लास के शुरू में जब हमने कैक्टस पढ़ा था. Flattened stem, ये भी सुन चुके हो. Let's get the chat box on. People, what is flattened stem? Let's keep it on. Yeah. What is a flattened stem? Who will give me the term for flattened stem? Not the answer. I want to revise the concept. Remember, we have to go to every corner of this chapter right now. Thank you. It is the spelling are a little, they can be correct. It is phylloclade. Then fleshy cylindrical stem. Yeah, that is also phylloclade. Let's see what happens. Okay, flattened stem can be cladoed also. Now, let's revise the modifications of stem. The first kind of modification of stem is जमीन के नीचे. I'll tell you how to revise the modification. जमीन के नीचे, जमीन के ऊपर भी, नीचे भी और जमीन के ऊपर. So underground, subaerial, aerial. नीचे, kind of नीचे, some part is नीचे, some part is ऊपर, the ground, and aerial is absolutely in the air. Now, underground modifications, very very important. ये example आप छोड़ ही नहीं सकते. Very important. Every year there is a question from stem modification. Underground stems, ध्यान रखिएगा, are always fleshy. They store food. For you, for me, yes, we use them. They are regular products in the kitchen. But they are actually storing food as an adaptation. Yeah, for the purpose of perennation. What is perennation? When the aerial plant is dying because the environment is very unfriendly. बहुत ज़्यादा धूप है, पानी नहीं है, photosynthesis हो ही नहीं पा रहा है, then the plant still doesn't die owing to the food present in these stems. सबको clear है? Good. Now, according to the shape and other characteristics, we have the rhizome, the tuber, the corm, and the bulb. Yeah, I'll tell you the examples of all. Rhizome is your ginger and the turmeric. Yeah, tuber is right in front of you. Aloo is tuber. Tuber का मतलब botany में होता है when there is no definite shape. Don't think, ma'am, root में भी tuber था, stem में भी tuber है, कैसे याद करें? What is the difference? I get all these questions. Tuber is a term used for an organ, a structure which has no definite shape. Problem solved. Aloo has no definite shape. Yeah. Then corm. Corm is colocasia. Okay. Bulb is onion garlic. They're shaped like bulbs. Good. Now, let's move further to the subaerial modification. Well, subaerial modification, ma'am, होती क्यों है? आपने कहा था we should always understand the why behind the modifications. Subaerial modifications happen to propagate better. These kind of stems propagate very fast. कितने लोगों ने देखा है that if you plant lawn grass, yeah, cynodon, it's called cynodon. You plant it in one portion of the garden and it spreads very quickly within weeks and covers the entire garden. Why? Because it's a runner. It runs on the ground. Yeah? So don't worry about the subaerial modifications. Remember, one is running on the ground, one is running below the ground, absolutely, which is sucker. Okay? Stolon is jumping. It's a jumping stem. You with me? Strawberry. Stolon is jumping. Offset is, well, trying to run in the water. Yeah, so I get a lot of messages saying, ma'am, subaerial modification में मैं तो confuse हो जाता हूँ between runner, sucker, stolon, offset. You don't have to get confused. Why? You have to see, you have to imagine what is happening. Once again, runner is running on the ground. It's a creeper on the ground. Sucker is below the ground. It is also running to propagate fast. Yeah, the aerial stem remains in the place. उसको कोई problem नहीं है. It gives a branch which helps to propagate. It runs very fast, give rise to another aerial stem. Then it runs and it gives rise to another new plant. And that is how lawn grass spreads. When this happens below the ground, it is sucker. You will say, ma'am, if sucker is below the ground, why are you putting it in subaerial? Well, the new plant, this part is below the ground. I agree. But the new branch, the new plant is coming out of the ground. Okay? Offset is absolutely a feature of aquatic plants. कौन मुझे example देगा offset का? Any aquatic plant with offset stem? Let's get the chat box. Thank you. Can anybody give me the example of offset? Pura naam, not only. Thank you. Pistia, water hyacinth, Ecornia, Pistia. Thank you very much. Well done. Well done. Very good. Now, coming to aerial stems. Children, promise me, you will not go to the exam center. Whenever is your exam? 21, 22, 23, 25. Stem modification, not a word missed from your textbook. It is a short question every year. Yeah? So now, aerial stems. Aerial stems can modify for a lot of purposes. For example, tendril is to give mechanical support. It's like the branch of the stem gets coiled, Maggie jaisi ban jati hai, and then it climbs. It's a feature of, I think, Cucurbitaceae family. Melons, cucumbers, yeah? In that family, that is how the plant climbs up. Cool? Examples are important. Thorns, stem are, who can give me the example of thorns? Stem thorns में cactus नहीं होगा. थोड़ी देर पहले I think I said cactus, that is spines. When stem is modified into thorns, it is primarily, it happens in beautiful plants. I'm giving you the hint. It is to protect the plant from grazing animals. A very beautiful plant. It is bougainvillea and citrus. Bougainvillea and citrus. Note down the examples, please. Okay. And phylloclade, you already know, is a feature of Opuntia, where the stem is doing a very, very important job of performing photosynthesis and storing food. So we have looked at the important modifications. Now if you solve this question, we will use the elimination method. Let's go. Underground stem, Euphorbia, Opuntia, both are xerophytic. Thorns, potato. Opuntia is phylloclade, not thorns. It is phylloclade. I don't know why I keep saying thorns. Euphorbia is xerophytic. Stem tendril, what did I say? Cucumber. Now, underground stem in this case is clearly the tuber or the potato. So A matches with these two options. You eliminate A and B. This is the elimination method. So 50% chances of going wrong are over. You are half the way towards getting those 4 marks. Now let's look at the other options. Stem tendril, Cucurbitaceae family, cucumber. I'll go to the B option. I'll match it with the 5th and I get my correct answer. And that is why match the column is the most scoring part, because around first 3 or first 2, you mostly get the answer. Yeah? Last question of the day. After this question, I will take all your doubts. I'll talk to you. Don't worry. Let's focus on this last question of the chapter, which is on floral diagram. ध्यान से आप इस floral diagram को देखेंगे and choose the correct description. You will choose which statement is describing this floral diagram correctly. That's what the examiner wants from you. In a floral diagram, this is the mother axis. Mother axis is the part of the stem where the flower is present. Is that clear? Now, we arrange the whorls in the sequence in which they are present in a flower. What is the sequence? The outermost whorl, and of course they are arranged in a circular pattern. So they are drawn in a circular pattern. The outermost is the sepal or the calyx. With me on this? Then the petals. Okay. Then the androecium. सबको समझ में आया? एंड्रोशियम. स्टेमन को हम किडनी की शेप में बनाते हैं. Good. And then the ovary is more or less circular. So the core part or the 4th whorl is the ovary. Good. And this here is if you want to mention the bracts. We are clear? Let's get the chat box and keep it on. Chat को on रखेंगे. We are at the last question. सबको clear है? Thank you, Avantika. Very good. Now let's match it with the description. Now, united, it's saying the sepals are united and valvate. How did we decide that? The sepals are valvate. The tips are only touching. I don't see any twisting. We will keep the chat on. Let's not switch it off. We'll keep it on because they're answering. Have a careful look. Valvate estivation. Do you see twisted? Do you see imbricate? Do you see vexillary? No. This here shows that they are united. Hence you see united valvate sepals. With me on this, let's go to the second word. What kind of placentation? Can anybody tell me the placentation, the estivation in the petals? Guys, stop distracting me. Let's finish the questions. It is, what kind of estivation is this? I can see a irregular twisting happening here. One is completely external. One is completely internal. So this is imbricate estivation. Apply your elimination method. Do you see imbricate estivation? Free imbricate petals? I don't see the fusion happening in the petals. So definitely they are free. Free imbricate petals. Free imbricate petals. So now I am stuck with these three choices, B, C and D. I go discussing the stamens. What is happening to the stamens? Well, they are free stamens. The fusion would be like this. I don't see the fusion happening. So they are free stamens. You see? So they are free stamens. Yeah? The ovary has only one locule. The ovary has only a single locule. And what kind of placentation is this? It is a marginal placentation. If it was exile, I cannot mark this. This also is ruled out. Yeah? This also is ruled out because there is no epipetalous condition. I don't see the stamen fusing with the petal. Do you see the stamen fusing with the petal? No. But you definitely see marginal placentation and unilocular ovary. The ovule is arising at the margin of the ovary. Exile होती तो ये कुछ आपको ऐसा दिखता with lot of locules and a central axis. Good. So your answer is clearly D. And with this, we finish all the hand-picked previous year questions. And from one question in today's class, we derived 10 more. And this is how you practice and revise the entire chapter. Never think that your preparation is complete without practicing the questions and only learning the theory. Hanji, bataiye. All your doubts? We will keep some time for doubts. 5 minutes. Everything good? Any doubts in morphology? How many marks from NCERT? Like I said, this chapter carries a weightage of two questions. 2 plus 1 minus 1. The structure of NEET. Okay? Because you will get to know the structure of NEET as far as this chapter is concerned. Like I said, 2 questions. The pattern of the paper I have discussed in the session. How to revise efficiently. Do it more. And Dev, good question. Many students ask me this. First of all, revision is as important as attending all the classes. Revision is as important as completing the syllabus. Revision, the only thing that you can do while revising is break a chapter into parts. Okay, so give yourself every day, keep 10 minutes and tell yourself that I'm going to revise only the leaf modifications. I'm going to revise only the stem modifications so that you're not overwhelmed, you're not overburdened. Even if you're in class 12th, you have dropped a year, you're in class 11th, chapter of circulation is going on. Ma'am, it's not matching with morphology. You have to revise. Then nobody can stop you. Ma'am, how to remember examples? If you are thinking I'll give you a magic wand, a mantra, that's not happening. Samruddhi, my answer will stay the same. The way people repeat your name, and that is why you're so familiar with your own name, the only way to be familiar with the examples is to repeat them every day. I don't believe in learning mnemonics to remember examples. Put that much effort. The effort that you put in learning mnemonics and tricks, put that much effort in revising them and solving questions on them. Didn't you find that when you solved questions today, your concepts became better? How many of you felt that? If you're a JEE student, very good, welcome to the class. Biology is interesting and easier than mathematics. Well, you can visit BYJU'S site and go with the process. Ajinkya. Absolutely, whatever question we did today, Paras, is important till the NEET exam happens. Till this country has medical entrance exams, these questions will remain important. They are very much in your syllabus. They're very, very important. Okay, people. So time to go. And what are you planning to do after the class? Are you planning to revise any topic? Choose one topic and let's revise it. Why don't you revise all the modifications today? And notice the axial placentation in tomato, in lemon. Yeah? Why don't you go to the kitchen and label ginger as rhizome? Study botany, try to study the chapters from around you. Biology is happening every moment around you. Okay, with this, thank you very much. Thank you for attending this session. We will come again with another important session like this one, another amazing session. Till then, take care, keep smiling, take care of everybody around yourself, and don't worry about anything. Thank you.